Hello, brothers and sisters, and welcome back to Royalty and Light. As promised, we are now on part 2 of The Destroyer. This is still in the Corbin Bible. It is located in the book of manuscripts. So, I'm just going to jump right on in there. So here we are, page 235, and this is coming from the book of Man, chapter 4, verse 1. And it reads, O sentinels of the universe who watch for the destroyer, how long will your enduring vigil last? O mortal men who wait without understanding, where will you hide yourselves in the dread days of doom, when the heavens shall be torn apart and the skies rent in twain, in the days when children will turn gray-headed? This is the thing which will be seen. This is the terror your eyes will behold. This is the form of destruction that will rush upon you. There will be the great body of fire, the glowing head with many mouths and eyes ever changing. Terrible teeth will be seen in formless mouths, and a fearful dark belly will glow redly from fires inside. Even the most stout-hearted man will tremble, and his bowels will be loosened, for this is not a thing understandable to men. It will be a vast sky-spanning form enwrapping earth, burning with many hues within wide open mouths. These will descend to sweep across the face of the land, engulfing all in the yawning jaws. The greatest warriors will charge against it in vain. The fangs will fall out, and lo, they are terror-inspiring things of cold-hardened water. Great boulders will be hurled down upon men, crushing them into red powder. As the great salt waters rise up in its train and roaring torrents pour towards the land, even the heroes among mortal men will be overcome with madness. As moths fly swiftly to their doom in burning flame, so will these men rush to their own destruction. The flames going before will devour all the works of men. The waters following will sweep away whatever remains. The dew of death will fall softly as a gray carpet over the cleared land. Men will cry out in their madness, "Oh, whatever being there is, save us from this tall form of terror. Save us from the gray dew of death." Okay, so that's the end of part 2. So we're going to go right on into the Destroyer part 3. And it reads, the doomed shape called the Destroyer in Egypt was seen in all the lands thereabouts. In color, it was bright and fiery in appearance, changing and unstable. It twisted about itself like a coil, like water bubbling into a pool from an underground supply. And all men agree it was a most fearsome sight. It was not a great comet or a lucent star, being more like a fiery body of flame. Its movements on high were slow. Below it swirled in the manner of smoke, and it remained close to the sun, whose face it hid. Pay attention. There was a bloody redness about it, which changed as it passed along its course. It caused death and destruction in its rising and setting. It swept the earth with great cinder rain and caused many plagues, hunger, and other evils. It bit the skin of men and beasts until they became mottled with sores. The earth was troubled and shook. The hills and mountains moved and rocked. The dark smoke-filled heavens bowed over earth, and a great howl came to the ears of living men, borne to them upon the wings of the wind. It was the cry of the dark Lord, the master of dread. Thick clouds of fiery smoke passed before him, and there was an awful hail of hot stones and coals of fire. The doom-shaped thundered sharply in the heavens and shot out bright lightnings. Y'all, we've seen this. The channels of water were turned back unto themselves when the land tilted, and great trees were tossed about and snapped like twigs. Then a voice like 10,000 trumpets was heard over the wilderness, and before its burning breath, the flames parted. The whole of the land moved, and mountains melted. The sky itself roared like 10,000 lions in agony, and bright arrows of blood sped back and forth across its face. Earth swelled up like a bread upon the hearth. This was the aspect of the doom shape, called the destroyer. When it appeared in days long ago, gone by in olden times, it is thus described in the old records, few of which remain. It is said that when it appears in the heavens above, earth splits open from the heat like a nut roasted before the fire. Then flames shoot up through the surface and leap about like fiery fins upon black blood. The moisture inside the land is all dried up. The pastures and cultivated places are consumed in flames, and they and all trees become white ashes. The doom shape is like a circling ball of flame, which scatters small fiery offspring in its train. It covers about a fifth part of the sky and sends whirling snake-like fingers down to earth before it. The sky appears frightened, and it breaks up and scatters away. Midday is no brighter than night. It spawns a host of terrible things. These are the things said of the destroyer in the old records. Read them with solemn hearts, knowing that the doom shape has its appointed time and will return. It would be foolish to let them go unheeded. Now men say, such things are not destined for our days. May the great God above grant that this be so. But come, the day surely will, and in accordance with his nature, man will be unprepared. Brothers and sisters, this is happening. This is happening. I pray that you heard this. I pray that you meditate on these scriptures. I am posting this in these clips. Hold on to this, because this is real, and this is happening. And it's been moving across the earth covertly. But yet, the men of science, many of your religious leaders, and all the principalities of the air, they have been working overtime to keep humanity ignorant with all of these distractions. And the people are wondering, where is the smoke coming from? They've conjured up this. And this is not just any smoke. And this is something else I want to show you. And I'm going to go to the book of remembrance. Because these elementals, many of these fallen elementals, is what's being conjured up in this hour. Okay, brothers and sisters, so I'm going to read out of the book of remembrance, the first and second books of Achi. So if you have this book on page 689, there's an elemental called uranium, whose angelic name was Ananiel. This is one of the fallen angels. And I'm going to read about this element. And it reads, Ananiel, cloud of God, that we know as the element uranium. Ananiel is the 13th from Semahaza. When he was created, he was a rock that had the spirit of a spectacular thunder cloud reaching from man to God himself. He had the definition that the Spirit of God will renew and openly lead. He could have given the true feeling of hope, the hope of the resurrection and the second coming of Christ, the hope of eternal judgment. He could have been the source of trust and confidence. Ananiel decided to take the definition instead that invisible things are the enemy and one cannot trust. A rock that had the spirit of a cloud became deadly and now could make itself into a cloud of destruction. An invisible killer, the one who rots humans. Ananiel teaches the causing of war, even to the extent that he can cause the elements themselves to war with another. I'm going to read that again. Ananiel teaches the causing of war, even to the extent that he can cause the elements themselves to war with one another. Right now, brothers and sisters, all these fallen angels are at war with one another. These are elements. This is why the book of remembrance is so important in this hour, because I've never seen a book that gives you an understanding of who the faithful watchers are and who the fallen watchers are. We're dealing with elements. But I guess we call it chemicals. So right now we're dealing with chemical warfare on humanity. But it also reads, he is the master of all evil spirits. He is the enemy of life. He is the master of mistrust and spies. He is the master of Melcharasu, which is also another name for Satan. He is the culprit who keeps renewal from occurring in large masses of people. He is the enemy of the Spirit of God. Brothers and sisters, the Father has raised me up today to let you know that the destroyer is in the midst. And this is a plague of death and destruction. Brothers and sisters, the whole world is under judgment. And just like it is written in the Corbin Bible, when this thing gets through moving across the face of the earth, the day of darkness is at hand. We are closer to the end of this era than people want to believe. Brothers and sisters, it is urgent in this hour that you repent and turn and come back to your Creator. This is not a game. This is happening and this is real. There are nights where I have cried constantly, praying for my loved ones, praying for humanity, period, and all the elect of God throughout the entire universe. That we will wake up and see what is going on. But yet the enemy keeps coming with all the distractions. And so many people are caught up into our day-to-day that we can't even pull away and give the Most High 5 minutes. Now, I'm not no preacher. I'm just a daughter of Zion, a servant to the Most High. And I've just been sent to warn. I'm just a messenger. Brothers and sisters, this is happening and this is real. And I'm going to let the Most High word be true and every man be a liar. We got to wake up. Because the only way out of this situation is up. Which means we're going to have to stay elevated. We're going to have to stay repentant. We're going to have to stay vigilant. And we're going to have to keep our faith where it's supposed to be. Not in man, but in the Most High. Brothers and sisters, you are royalty and light, and that is a fact because the Father says so. Remember that. I love you all. Stay prayerful. Stay vigilant. And I pray that the Most High gives you wisdom, the power, and protection to stand in the midst of all this chaos. Stay blessed.
But the sky's on fire.
Let's go, Carol. Okay, we're good?
Yeah.
You can see it from here?
John!
Oh, God. None of them got called.